Well, good afternoon, everyone. Come on in. I know it's notifying you guys, so come in, get comfortable. It's so good to be here. Good to see everyone this afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Oh my goodness. I hope you enjoyed the shows today. This has been such a great afternoon. It has been such a beautiful Friday. Little chilly, a little chilly. Don't get me wrong, it's chilly here because we're on the East Coast. So, we have the change in the weather. But I tell you, today was such a great show, a great season we're having. So I know it's notifying everybody. I'm just going to give a few seconds for everyone to get in here. So it's 4:15 now. So I'm just going to allow just like a minute to come in, and then we'll get right into everything, making sure that everybody's set up in here. Hope you guys have either your mocktails. I got some nice hot coffee because it was so chilly. I was a little chilly in the studio and everything today. So I just was like, look, let me get something hot for the after show. Keep this voice nice and prime for you all, so I sound good too. Let me take a sip of this. Mm, 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 mm. I tell you, I don't make my coffee, but I have my husband. He makes my coffee, and he makes the best coffee in the world. I have to tell you the truth. Um, I can make coffee, but it just never tastes as good as his. So, but I love it. So, look, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome in. Make sure you drop in the chat box where you're listening from. Don't forget, we're always great to connect with you, that we want you to be a part of the community. So, as we get into this, I'm going to give you some other invitations and everything else. So, do me a favor, just let me know where you're watching from, where you're tuning in from. Are you a first time whisperer? Are you a whisperer? Because I love to know these things. So let me just get things situated and started in here. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays post show. I am your host. My name is Sonya LaRae. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, holistic health and wellness consultant, educator, and motivational speaker. But by far, as I tell you guys, I'm always honored to say that I am the host of Whispers in a Bottle Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays. So today's discussion, I tell you, it has been a great discussion. We really leaned into navigating career setbacks to success. And it all started with our pre show. And I have to welcome all of our new wisdom whisperers. That's what you all are. And I'm so honored to say that. And it's so good to have you all in the community. Make sure that you are subscribed to our newsletter, which is the Whisperers Exchange, because I give a lot of information in there, and it's always so good to have you all here. Yes, great coffee. And so it's always good to have you all here and to be able to lean into the topics. And like I said, you get the appetizer in the pre show, you get the full buffet, and I give like a 7 course dinner during our live show at 3 o'clock. And this is the dessert. This is dessert hour. This is where you get your coffee, you get your dessert and everything, and kind of talk a little bit about what kind of moved me into moving into this category and this topic for us during the show. So, one thing I love to do is always start our shows off with a clear meaning or definition. And during the live show, I gave you the meaning of navigating. So, I'm going to share what that meaning is here as well, because it kind of aligns us for our talk and keeps us on point too. So I told you all navigating means to plan, direct the route or routine or course, and to walk or find one's way. And I think a lot of times when we are navigating setbacks in our career, that's what we're doing. We're mapping out our course. We're trying to find our way through every element, detail, point when it comes to that. And sometimes I think when I have discussions like this on panels, or even when I'm having live discussions on LinkedIn Live, there's certain elements that we don't really get to talk about or we don't tap in on. But I wanted to do that during this part of the show. And like I said, this show is not long. I say about 30 minutes. If that, we try to really kind of respect everybody's time. It is Friday. We're loosened up. We had our mocktails over there. So, we're coming in, and it's time to spend time with your loved ones. But when you're spending time with your loved ones, you may even get some of your friends that are faced with setbacks and challenges in their careers. And as I stated in the show, that a lot of this information that is shared in here can actually resonate inside of your life as well. Because there's different elements that even in our lives we face these setbacks. And sometimes they're congruent with the things that are happening in our careers and our businesses. So, in turn, why I feel it's so necessary in the conversations that I have is because as people, we are prone to so many negative thoughts. 70,000 thoughts, half of our thoughts are negative. So, why it is so imperative for us to really get this under our belt is because of that fact. And I think a lot of times when we have discussions like this, we don't talk transparently about it. Do you know that literally, when people face setbacks, it's one of the leading causes that causes even anxiety and depression? Oh, yeah, it is. And so many times that we talk about it, we don't really state or stress how stressful it really is to go through setbacks. I tell you all the time, I went through a health setback. I've been through a death in my family, um, dealing with different ebbs and flows inside of my agency. Even how things happen or occur with people that are very close to me, even. But what I find necessary is that in this space and place of growth, and when we are talking about career setbacks and everything, we have to be willing to realize that we have to put those master keys into play. And those master keys are not just there for us to look at or just to feel like, oh, well, because how many times have you gone through something, right? And later on, you think to yourself, wait a minute, I went through that before. What? It's because we don't give ourselves enough time to process things when we're in the height of everything. So, one thing I'll tell you guys, and it probably won't surprise you though, is this: when things are chaotic, and I go through a lot of things and it's stressful and high level of stress, I'm a very calm person. I can deal with it in the right manner and way. And I really stay focused on what is the goal or that mission that we need to take. And so, a lot of times, I think why this discussion is so important, the other element of this topic that we have to talk about is us. Yeah, you and me. How do you handle stress? How do you handle setbacks inside of your daily lives? Are you someone that literally is constantly just a powder keg? As soon as something happens, you're ready to blow up, or you lose control, or you're not rational. So sometimes we have to be willing to sit in a space and place of discomfort so we can find that real authentic person that we need to be. So we can actually start to really build upon the qualities of resiliency. See, it's easy for us to say, oh, well, it's easy for you to say that, Sonya, you're a therapist, this, that, and the other. But like I told you, problems come in everyone's life, and nobody is immune to them. Nobody is just, you know, constantly on point. I like that comment. I really like that comment. I try not to lose my control or self. I love that because that's the point. You have to be in control of oneself. You have to be in control of your emotions where your emotions are not running you. And sometimes as people, that's what happens. We get really kind of keyed up, and all of a sudden all the thoughts and everything else, the rational thinking and everything goes out the door. And especially in management, it's true. Especially in management, it is very true. Because a good manager is one that can manage their stress. A good manager is one that can even manage the stress of their employees. Because, like I told you, you're the barometer. You set the gauge for the temperature. You set things a way that is going to be successful from what isn't going to be successful. So, in turn, it behooves us to really understand where we're going in that element, where we're at in that element, and how we're placing things inside of our hearts, inside of our minds. Are we someone who over exaggerates things? Because now that's another quality that people don't realize, that why they're not able to really navigate career setbacks or navigate setbacks in their lives. Because, like I told you, these run congruently with each other. The way that we handle setbacks in our careers is the way that you can look at it of handling things and setbacks in your life. Because when you master these things, and you literally, these are skills. These are not something that you just kind of like, I'm born with it. No, no. These are real skills. So, when something is a skill, it takes time. It takes time for you to nurture it. It takes time for you to really learn how to use that tool in a healthy manner. And so that's what we need to do. So, I told you that we were going to learn a lot of things in this journey. And the journey of this season was going to unfold and bring things forward. Because anytime that we have a season that is dedicated to triumphs over trials, you know that it's so many people that are dealing with things. We see right now, it's unrest in the news, no matter what it is. People are dealing with stress and problems constantly. So I like to say that, a prime example of really navigating career setbacks, we got a perfect example. That has to be anytime that there's a president in office. Because I guarantee you, he was not expecting what he's getting. None of them. I don't care who it is. They all are like, what? But they have to navigate that job. And there's major setbacks in that job. So imagine if they weren't able to really maneuver or to manage those setbacks in a proper way. It would just be like everything else that we see, that there's tantrums being thrown. It's not fair. I should have won. You get those kind of behaviors. So it behooves us as people to learn how to navigate those areas, especially those gray areas. Because this is the funny thing. Everybody can go through things that have a little rose color to them. Everybody can deal with the rose color. But the gray shades are the ones that really take everybody out. The gray shades are the ones that kind of knock people for a loop. The gray shades are the ones that cause the most stress to many people. So, how do you place that kind of thinking or that perspective in the right space and place? It requires the tools. It requires that we really start to master the tools. So it may require on your part that you put into implementation one tool at a time. Because sometimes as people, we can't, get all of it at one time, all the balls juggling. You ever try to juggle before maybe you learned how to juggle, and you started, and every time you threw the one, it fell, or, it just looked like, you looked like you was just throwing it at your other hand. It was just like a playing of catch. But then you got that rhythm, and you could throw the ball up, and you can get them moving. And it's always funny that people want to look at the hand instead of looking up at the one that's coming up. So as you see jugglers, they never are juggling like this. They're always juggling like this because they're seeing what's coming. They're seeing what's coming. And as people, we have to see what's coming. Remember, I gave the analogy in our pre-show. I told you that, problems or setbacks are much like, your criminal. They're not bold and out in the front, like, hello, I'm out here. I'm going to rob you tomorrow, okay? I just want you to know that I'm going to rob you tomorrow. No, they're hiding in the alley, tucked away, so you don't see them. So they have the element of surprise when they jump out at you and jump on your back. It's the same thing. But see, if you're a person who has taken self defense courses or you have something to protect yourself, and when those things jump out at you, you're able to react because you're in that space and place of being calm and you're prepared. It's the same thing with these tools of resiliency, the support systems, the innovative thinking. These are all of the elements and the skills you need to remain safe. That's how powerful this is. See, Whispers, I told you in every show, you're going to get something new. You're going to learn something new and take away something dynamic. Because, see, it's no need for me to regurgitate the same things over and over again. It's for me to really develop and to keep you moving forward so you can keep growing and developing and blossoming and being dynamic individuals. And that's why I love doing our show. That's why I love being in our safe zones and birthing dynamic discussions. So it behooves us to come in, get something good to drink. And sometimes we got the cocktail, sometimes we got the mocktail, but we got the coffee today. Now, imagine if this coffee had a little whoof in it. We'd be saying something, right? But, that's the point. We are doing some dynamic things. And Whispers, you all are doing dynamic things. And that requires that you harness that power of self talk. And if you need those master keys, go back to our episode and pick them up. Because you cannot keep talking down to yourselves. You can't keep speaking, destruction over yourself. Because it's about thriving. Thriving means that we are living. It doesn't mean that we're just surviving. Surviving is like, I'm just going to get up and try to put a little nourishment in and keep it going. But thriving means that we are living. And so you got to keep thriving. And discussions like these help you to keep thriving. And if you would like to ask me questions or if you have questions that you want to be answered, don't forget, you can always write into me at asksonyalarae@yahoo.com. That came out a little strange. Asksonyalarae@yahoo.com. And don't forget that you can always connect with us over on Instagram because those are where the links are that if you don't click the link in the description box here on YouTube, we can always connect over on Instagram. You can follow our page, show us a little love. We're trying to build our community over there and we need you to follow us over there as well. We're building some dynamic things. We're doing some great things as well. We're looking to get sponsorship because we want to do some powerful things for you whisperers. And so for us to do some of these things, we have to have sponsorship. We have to have money so we can change things, so we can bring better equipment in, so we can just have things in a way that will always keep you thriving. Get it? That's what we do here. We thrive. So follow us over on Instagram at whispersinabottle_podcast. Don't forget that we have our pre-show at 1 p.m. every Friday on the Wisdom app. If you DM us the word wisdom, either on here or over on our Instagram page, we will send you an invitation so you can join the Wisdom app. You can follow us and we can connect with you. Just let us know that you're a whisperer. When you do follow, send a message and say, I'm a whisperer. So this way we can connect with you and follow until you get your page built out where you get to introduce yourself and everything else. So, if you don't have a name there and we don't know who you are, we can't follow you because we do believe in keeping all of our areas safe. So with that being said, we want to connect with you at all times. It's wonderful to connect with you all, to have the show. You've been here on Whispers in a Bottle, Grown Talk Cocktail Fridays, our post show. I'm Sonya LaRae. I'm a lifestyle relationship counselor, fashion psychologist, educator, holistic health and wellness consultant, motivational speaker, but by far, I'm always honored to say that I'm your host. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Make sure you like, follow, and share right here on YouTube. We look forward to connecting with you next week at the same time. All right, guys, take care.